What happens when comic book publishers make a mistake?
They get recalled.
Yeah, and their losses are our gains. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Her Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual. Doing that princess wave, you do it too. Bow and respect, and of course, there's the Coco dog.
Oh, Coco made it out for this extra special episode of Recalled Comics. Yeah, there's a thing that happens in the comic world where books have mistakes in them, sometimes funny, sometimes not funny, and sometimes they're worth a lot of money, and sometimes they're not worth a lot of money. But you have to know about them in order to find them, right?
Yes.
It's kind of an important thing.
That's how you get those gains.
Yeah, so we thought we'd come up with 5 of some of our favorite recalled comics and show you some examples and maybe where to find them, and maybe if we even like some of them. Some of them are kind of cool. Some of them are not that cool. But before we do any of that, we got to get a little bit thirsty.
We got some Stumptown Coffee Roasters, original cold brew coffee, and apparently has good luck.
It does? We're going to need it if we're going to find some recalled comics, right?
Yes. You can find them all the time.
There's luck in that?
Yeah, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if I can...
What does luck taste like?
Let's see if I can open it. Okay, there you go.
Oh. You didn't shake it.
I don't trust him. It's pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. It's not bad. It looks like an alcohol bottle, a mini alcohol bottle. So I like that.
You know where you don't need any luck? Hanging out with us on Whatnot, where you'll always get great deals. Dollar starts 30-second auctions every Saturday, almost. Check our listing times. Princess will probably be on not this Saturday, right? No, actually. So, but the Saturday after that, perhaps.
Make sure to bookmark.
Yes.
Links down below.
Exactly. All right, let's get into it. Recalled Comics. You want to say anything about Recalled Comics first, just in general?
Yeah, so...
in case people aren't sure what they are?
Just throughout the ages, there's always been comics that have had mistakes, errors, and usually the publisher wants to bring them back as, hey, we're going to send you a new set of copies that are actually correct. Sometimes, people that get them is like, yeah, we're not sending it back. We're keeping it. And that's when you get a rare recalled comic, usually. Sometimes not, but usually. And here's some examples. We're gonna show you some examples.
Ooh, show you some examples. That's good. Yeah, it'd be kind of crazy. I feel like if I was a comic owner and somebody's like, "Hey, there's a mistake," I'd definitely keep some. Send some back. I don't know if they track how many you have. You're like, "Oh, I didn't get those ones," because somewhere down the line, some of those could be really valuable. So it would make sense to.
Oh yeah. To keep it off the side and hope for the best.
Yeah, right. That would be kind of cool. I mean, you probably have to wait a little while before they catch on. But, yeah. So this is in no particular order. Doesn't really mean anything the order that we put in, but we're going to show you 5 examples of recalled books. And starting it off, we'll say number 1. This is Elseworlds 80-page giant. Also number 1. Believe it or not, that's a huge mouthful.
Yeah,
to say that.
It's very long.
These weird giant comics that DC did back in 1999 has some strange titles, but Ty Templeton did the artwork on this. A bunch of various artists did the work on this, and it has to do with a story with Letitia Lerner and some interesting things she did as Superman's babysitter. I also thought this was kind of funny, just thinking about her name, Letitia Lerner, LL. And all of the other LL characters that Superman has fallen in love with. Lois Lane, Lana Lang, right?
Lex Luthor. Wait,
yeah, he did fall in love with Lex Luthor. There's even Lori Lamaris. Do you know who that is, Zach?
I have no idea.
His college sweetheart, who is also a mermaid. She would sit in a wheelchair and then he'd do dirty stuff to her. But she had a secret tail underneath the blanket she had on there. Plus,
that sounds dirty.
Plus, Linda Lee was Supergirl's alter ego. Linda Lee. But I don't think he fell in love with his cousin. It's not Game of Thrones around here. Hopefully not. But why was this recalled? This strange 80-page giant.
So it was recalled because they have a depiction in the panels of a baby crawling in the microwave and get irradiated. Yeah, and starts glowing green. And DC did not like that. They didn't figure out about it until after the fact. So they're like, okay, gotta recall it.
Yeah.
So let's recall it. And they figured there's still about 800 in circulation, even though they recalled it and some people didn't follow the rules. It's pretty
Never follow the rules.
It's pretty dang expensive in 9.8. I guess it goes for about $900.
Oh, okay.
In a 9.8.
That's not too bad. I mean, that's expensive, but yeah, I thought that kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So the babysitter's name was Letitia Lerner.
Letitia Lerner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was actually like Super Baby that went in the microwave. With Superman, I think she was like not paying attention to what Superman was doing as a baby, and then went into the microwave, and then it turned on.
That's not good.
Yeah, but Superman, so he's okay.
Yeah,
He's good.
I don't like it.
He's good. All right, number 2. Let's skip over. We were just talking about DC. Now let's talk a little bit about Marvel. We got Universe X Spidey number 1, 2001. This came out. Look at this cover. It's awesome. Alex Ross cover, Jim Krueger story. But this one is excellent. This is probably one of my favorite ones of the recalls, but Al Milgrom did some funny stuff inside this book. Zach will give you more on it. But if you're wondering what is Universe X, it's an alternate universe that Wizard Magazine actually asked Alex Ross to come up with a dystopian future. Like, what's a good story you could do? And he came up with Earth X first in 1997 came out. And it's basically where everyone on Earth has superpowers. Every single person. And then the characters like Spidey or Cap or the Hulk have to deal with the fact that everyone has powers. I guess people liked it enough that they did this follow-up. So the Universe X is actually a continuation of the story. And something funny happened inside.
Yeah, so there was some Harris slander, right? And one of the panels, that shows one of the dudes talking. And in the back of the panel, behind the dude on the bookshelf, if you turn it sideways, they'll say, Bob Harris, haha, he's gone, good riddance, too bad rubbish, he was a nasty SOB.
Nah.
And that was Al Milgrom that put that in there, and they fired him because of that. But
They
then
didn't fire Al Milgrom because of that?
they fired him, but then they quietly hired him back
Well, yeah,
2-3 weeks later.
He's like a legend, living legend of comics. You don't fire Al Milgrom.
You don't fire Al Milgrom, and he had to be like that Harris guy had to be a really piece of work. I'm sure. I believe I met Al Milgrom.
Yeah, he actually told us that story in person too.
Yeah, and a really nice guy. There's 3 different covers. So the cover that was shown is basically the standard one. It's pretty rare. There's only about 1,000 copies. There's a Dynamic Forces color version that's about 100 copies, and then there is a black and white sketch, Dynamic Forces sketch one. They figure there's about 50 copies, so that's pretty hard to find. Good luck finding that one. But yeah, all of them are pretty dang cool. Actually, cover A is probably the best looking cover.
It's a nice
really
face. Nice Alex Ross cover.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it. It's a pretty fun comic book, a pretty good fun book of history.
Yeah,
comic book
I don't actually think I've seen very many of those. So like, is there a version of this you can get that doesn't have that in it?
Yeah.
Okay, so they reprinted that one as well.
Yeah, they definitely reprinted that one as well. So
cool.
Keep an eye out.
I'll have to check that one out. All right, number 3 on the list, and it looks like we're touching a little bit of everywhere. We're going all over the map because we got to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 4. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 4, 1987. Mirage Comics. This came out, obviously, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman doing the work on this. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if it's just me, but I was always kind of confused, like, who did what on the books between the two of them. I know, like, they created it together, and I know they both draw, but it's credited in this one as Peter as the writer and Kevin Eastman as the artist,
okay.
Which I didn't know. I was kind of confused on who did what, because I think some of the covers are done by both of them, actually. So, It's kind of a cool thing. Just so you know, too, as well, this one is a big doozy of a mistake on this one. But the real book, number 4, actually came out in 1985. So this was actually supposed to be a reprint of the 1985 book. And issue number 4 was the last oversized issue as well, before they got smart and made them regular. So I don't know why they made them the giant ones anyway. It's kind of goofy, but...
Yeah, I don't know why. Kind of cool, though.
Well, what's the reason? Why did this one get recalled?
So, this book right here, the cover that was shown, is actually supposed to be on the tails of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and not this one. So they actually got the wrong second print cover on it. It's supposed to be, show you right here, this cover, but actually it was this cover, and then they had to get a recall from it. And some people didn't, like, again, send it back. They're like, it's very subtle. So you could actually just go out in the wild and you might find it by accident, because it's just a very subtle. It's just the title's a little bit different, and it could be, it could be worth a lot of money. I mean,
I think this is the most expensive one on the list.
Yeah. They estimate it's only about 1,000 copies, which is actually kind of a lot for a recalled book that has this much value. It's about $1,200 at a 9.8. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially if you can find it in a high grade copy.
He actually made 60,000 copies of it and then destroyed 59,000 copies, which that's got to be a lot of money for those boys back in the day for Mirage to print that many books and then destroy them all. So.
Yeah, that must have hurt. I would have just kept rolling with it and make it like a third
go with
print.
The mistake.
Yeah, go with the mistake.
Yeah. Cool book though. Really cool book.
Very cool. Very expensive.
All right. Number 4 on the list, and this is probably the weirdest one. We've got Haley, the Hooters Girl, number 1 from in 1998. Cabbage Comics is the one that put this one out. PJ Pearl and Ken McCall. I actually like this cover. It's a really cool cover. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to find anything on Cabbage Comics. I'm not really sure where they even came from, but strange enough, if you guys want to know about Haley, the Hooters Girl, she was a delivery girl for Hooters. She was delivering some chicken wings to an Air Force base and accidentally rammed her truck into a septic truck, which should be full of poo. But it all got on her, and she got superpowers. And her powers include super strength, speed, and agility, pretty much the standard.
And super smell.
And super smelly. I don't know why a bunch of dookie would make you get powers, but I'm not going to test that out. I'm like, all right, septic guy, dump it all on me. I need powers like the Hooters Girl. But this one kind of makes sense on the recall.
Yeah. So the recall was Cabbage Comics used the Hooters name without permission in the title and content of the book, leading to a lawsuit. Leading to the Hooters company suing them. I believe they won pretty badly. There's also a gold edition for this. Both of them are actually somewhat high print number. Cover A has about 7,000 print run, and then the gold edition has about 2,000 print run. And they're not that expensive, but at the same time, if you get a 9.8, they're worth about $140, and it's a fun book. It's a fun book, part of the comic book history on how not to sell one of your items.
Did they actually reprint it without the Hooters logo on it? Or they never got the chance? They just sued them into oblivion, they disappeared?
They sent it out, and then it was immediately recalled, but I don't think anybody sent the books back. They're like, it's already out there.
Yeah. A smaller publisher like that doesn't have the the clout to get
it. It was rumored that the standard recalled edition was rarer than the 2 versions, but they were just sent out at the same time. I believe, I don't think there's any. Yeah, there's not another printing of it. I think all of them are supposed to be recalled, but they never did.
If you want one, it's actually available on Amazon for $79.99. You can buy a copy. So,
that's expensive.
Is that too much for it?
That seems like it's supposed to be like $20 for like the cover A, but might have gone up since the last time I checked it. So cool.
All right. Okay. Number 5 on the list. Let's talk about everyone's favorite thing. Swamp Thing, that is. Number 11, Volume 5, 2012, New 52, Yannick Paquette. Hopefully, I butchered that name. And Scott Snyder writing this one. This is New 52 took off where they basically reintroduced all the characters from their beginning again, the reset that DC did back in the day. I didn't actually realize Scott Snyder was writing Swamp Thing because he was writing Batman at the same time, so he had to have been writing both books. That would have been really, really hard.
A lot of work.
But this was a part 2 of Anton's Arcane Return, and you get to find out his role in the mythology of the Rot is revealed. The Rot was like a big deal for the Swamp Thing books. Actually, it would be kind of fun to read this. However, something really weird happened inside the book.
Yeah. And, Zack Snyder was at one of his... Oh, Scott Snyder. It's not Zack Snyder.
Think of yourself, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. He was at one of the Heroes Comic Con in Charlotte. Sounds like it. And he gets a call from his editor saying, it's like, hey, we were looking at the panels of this book and it looks a little weird with the tentacles. They kind of look like, they use the word dickish. They look a little dickish. So I was like, I'm going to send you a photo. It's like, yeah, I know they look a little bit like that initially, but they wouldn't look that bad. And then you look at it, yeah, they look a little dickish, right? It's like, it's still not that bad. No, look at panel 4. And he looks at panel 4, I'll show you right here. It looks way too much like a penis. Way too much like a penis. And it's where it's positioned is like, it's really bad. Really bad. And the funny thing about this one is that this book wasn't actually yet printed. Well, I think they printed, but they didn't send it yet. So they're like, okay, we're gonna fix it, and we're gonna send out a correct. Well, a couple of them, maybe a lot more than a couple, but we know for sure there's 2 of them out in the market. It's unknown value. 2 of them out in the market, and CGC did grade them and everything, and. I bet you're worth thousands and thousands of dollars, and you might just get lucky and find one out in the wild, so we might as well let you know about it. This guy, Raphael
Albuquerque?
Well, anyways, as a joke, as a birthday present, he bought him the original art of that scene, which they never took out of the original art and sent to him as a gift. And I was like, hey, remember that one time you asked them to do extra tentacles? And it backfired on you.
Was it like a little bit like Little Mermaid castle style?
Yes. But it was done by accident.
Was that on purpose?
No, yeah.
The Little Mermaid castle?
The Little Mermaid thing was done on purpose.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, more you know. Anyways, yeah, it's worth a lot of money, but of unknown value.
Well, said to be scarce. There, last time they was checked, you can buy a copy on my comic shop for $3. Is available. Zach's like, I don't think that's true.
Well, you can buy the comic,
but it's never have any known sales on eBay though.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy the comic and hopefully it's the Arrow one, but it's probably not, right?
Maybe. I don't know. It's what it says. It's what it says.
I'm gonna have to go on to my comic shop.
Right after the show, check it out. It's kind of fun checking on these recalled comics. And if you want to look at more of them, where can they get good information on this? Where do we source our information?
Recalledcomics.com, and it's a fantastic website that's always updated. It's great. It's fun to look at all the stuff that people messed up on over the years.
Zach
it makes me
loves that
happy.
stuff. He loves
Makes
mistakes.
me happy. I make a lot of them, so you got one.
All right, guys, that wraps up the show for today. As always, hit the like button for Princess. She did such a good job today. She has shown books that we don't have, which is always difficult. And hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your favorite Recalled book. Maybe you know one that's not even on the Recalled website that we can let everybody know. That's kind of cool. I've only known of a few recently that have come up, like the Hulk one that had the bad slur in the window backwards. That one didn't pan out too well.
That was weird.
Yeah. And anything else, Zach?
Yeah, sure. How you do that is you have to give people a call and then give them another call and call it a recall in one single day.
While eating a Ricola?
While eating a Ricola. And then you will be the first recalled man. Recalled man. The next superhero.
That's a good idea.
Recalled man.
Doesn't show up the first time you need him, but the second time he'll be there.
He'll be there the second time, always. And that's how you get those gains.
All right.
Second time.
Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Always get those gains. Bam. Every single one.
Recall style.